Okay, here's the tank. Did the cowl yesterday and that's come up really well, and now I need to put the second colour on this, so everything you see that's black needs to be turned red. So I'm going to do 600 wet and dry and try, I know I've done this the wrong way round, and try and sand it down, wet and dry it, sand it down without taking off all the paper and everything. So wish me luck. Definitely done it the wrong way, but I'm hoping that I can get it scratched up without the tape moving or making it too sodden. Just really to scratch up the surface to be able to key the paint to it. The tank itself has had a week to cure, so the black paint is very cured. So as I say, I just want to rough the surface ready for the red to go on. I mean, by no means a professional, and I'm certainly not doing a tutorial as you've probably guessed. Anyway, I'll get on with that. You can roughly see just how bad a job I'm doing of it, so I'll come back when it's yeah, I'm going to sand it all down, clean it all off, panel wipe it, and then I'll bring you back when I tack cloth it and start painting. How exciting. Okay, it's been sanded with 600 grit wet and dry, and now I'm going to tack cloth it off and then start painting it. So yes, I've had the heating on again for a few hours before I came in here this morning, and again it is absolutely toasty in here. Absolutely toasty. So I've turned one of the heaters off. Outside they reckon it's going to get to, I don't know, 10, 12 degrees, but in here it's got to be, I don't know, it feels like mid-20s. It's boiling. I've had the can in front of the heater as well, so that's warmed up the paint. And that's about it. Now it's time to spray. So I'll put my fan on, put my mask on, and go for it. Nice light coat to start with. I'll give that 15 or 20 minutes and then come back for the next. Okay, so that's had about 15 minutes, about 10-15 minutes to dry off a bit. And now it's going to have coat number 2 out of probably 4. Okay, that's coat number 2. I'm getting out there because it's very humid. Okay, coat number 3 coming up. Again, a bit of a thicker coat. there we go, coat number 3. Much thicker coat, so I'll give that about 10-15 minutes, probably 15 minutes because that was a heavier coat. And then come back and do the final coat. Okay, last coat. Another thickish coat, and then I'm going to leave it for about 2 hours to really sort of harden. And hopefully I haven't got any bleed through underneath the tape or anything. But it's looking beautiful at the moment. I've still got a few stages to go through with the lacquer and everything. Yeah, I'm going to leave it, do this coat, again fairly thick coat, and then leave it a couple of hours and then start peeling, tentatively peeling off all the tape, which hopefully won't wreck the paintwork. Maybe an hour, leave it an hour, I don't really know. Anyway, let's get another coat on here. Okay, that's the 4 coats. So I'll leave it an hour, between an hour and 2, and then see if I can start peeling that tape off. So that's it for now. Okay, that's had its 4 coats. That's had just about an hour in here, which is, as I say, it's got to be, its temperature's dropped a little bit, got to be about 20 degrees. I've come back in because I'm getting mixed results on, what's it called, Google, as to when to take the tape off. The majority was saying give it a chance after an hour while the tape's still got a bit of fluid, while the tape's still got some fluidity to it. Not the tape, the paint's got some fluidity to it. And pull it 45 degrees down onto itself, which seems to have worked on that one. I'm going to get some gloves. Okay, let's zoom you in a little bit. There you go. It's all come off beautifully. There is ridges, but I've got to sand this before I colour coat it. But it has come out really well. Where I wet sanded it, there are bits of what I can only presume is paper that has stuck to it, and I'm not going to mess about with it now. Hopefully that hasn't ruined the paintwork. But oh, there's a big lump of it along there. Big lump of glue by the looks of it. Yeah, as I say, hopefully that hasn't reacted with my paintwork and I can get that off. I'll do some more googling, but obviously this is quite fresh paintwork, so I'll leave that, as I said before, I'll leave that about a week, and then see about getting those other bits off, and indeed yeah, see about getting them other bits off. Should just be water and that, because the black paint was fully cured, so it shouldn't be too much of a chore. I just don't want to mess up the red paint trying to get the sticky bits off the black paint. But that's come out so far quite bloody good. Still a way to go, as I say. It's all wants, the whole thing wants sanding now and then clear coating. But for now, that can stay in here probably another hour or two. I'm bloody sweating. It's boiling in there. Yeah, probably about another hour or two in this heat to cure, and then it will come indoors and stay indoors in the warm in there for about another week. Yeah, probably till next weekend, and then I'll see about cleaning off the glue and everything, and indeed getting on with the clear coat. But for now, that's where I've got to. Okay, back in the shed again on a very cold Saturday. It's meant to be raining as well. It's not at the moment, not like it is up north. Anyway, yeah, back in the spray booth. Marvellous. Got 3 of the little heaters going. They've been going for over an hour now to warm the shed up, and it's getting quite toasty. The tank I've only just brought out from indoors. That's been upstairs in the spare bedroom for about a week now, curing on the red paint, which seems to have come out quite beautifully. New microfiber cloths ready for the job ahead. I dropped the tank, and it's left a few scuffs, but like the animal I am, I'm going to leave them in. Well, what comes out comes out, because I've got to wash it off, because some of the tape glue has stuck to the tank, and that's I was using A4 sheets of paper to cover the black while I did the red, and because I never had any forethought, I had to wet and dry with 600 grit where I was going to red paint, which made all the paper and everything that I had on here quite wet, which is why I've got the glue stains and bits of paper on the tank. As you can see, which should just wash off, but obviously I didn't want to do that last week because the red paint was so fresh. So this week is wash off the gluey bits, sand it all down. There's quite a ridge between the red and the black, so I'm going to give it probably 2500, yeah, 2500 grit, wet and dry, and just take the severity off those, blend them in a little bit better. Once I've done that, I've got to put the stickers on down the side, and then it's time to lacquer it. Well, that's it, washed, sanded, and the stickers put on, one either side, and you can see the dullness to it now where it's been sanded. And this is what happened to the cowl. When I sanded it, it went dull as anything, but everyone on the internet was like, it should be dull, it's fine, you put the lacquer on and it sparkles afterwards. So I'm hoping this sparkles afterwards. Unfortunately, the glue from the tape has actually eaten into the black paint, probably because I've left it so long. But if I'd have tried to get that off last week when I did the red paint would have been ruined. So there are marks in it. But in true biker antics style, I am just going to push on forwards, and this is where it got dropped. You can see it there. It's actually gone through the black paint there. gone through to the white there, just ever so slightly. But as I said to my missus after I dropped it, hopefully that's got the dropping out the way, so once it's back on the bike, it won't get dropped again. It might be a good omen. But yes, as I say, in true biker antics form, just going to push on ahead with it. I'm going to leave that for a while. That's had, you can tell by the cloths I've been through, that's been all washed off and cleaned off with Gsxr panel wipe, and I've been over it about 3 or 4 times with panel wipe. The cloth is now coming up clean, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go in and have a cup of tea, warm the paint up on the radiator, and what am I going to do after that? Warm the paint up on the radiator, then come back out, give it another degrease with panel wipe, and then tack cloth it, and then and then the lacquer's going on. Is what I'm going for. So there you go, and hopefully the lacquer will fill in all these scratches. This is, I used 2500 wet and dry, and then I went back to a 3000 grit wet and dry, and it's really taken out the sharpness of the lines. You're always going to get an edge as such, because obviously it's on top of. If you didn't have an edge, then it would be feathered right back and I'd lose the definition of the line. So, but it's definitely smoothed it all out. It feels lovely. I think I should have gone for different stickers. Well, this is my daughter done these on a machine, cut them out, and this is the font we said between us look good. So, but it's got so many little edges that you can't tack cloth it properly. You can't panel wipe it properly because you pull up the edges. So it's a bastard. So if you're going for a font like this, it's a bastard. Anyway, as I say, I'm going in for a cup of tea, be back out, degrease, tack cloth, straight on with the lacquer. Beautiful. It's going to look exceptional. It's going to look I say exceptional, it's going to look better than the tank did look on this bike. Obviously the Suzuki scheme from the manufacturer looks gorgeous when the whole bike is whole and has got the whole scheme like that, but being that the back end of mediocre is the cherry red and black, the white and blue tank really was letting it down. So even if this comes out rough, it will look better on the scheme of things. Look at me trying to justify a shit paint job. Anyway, I'm going for a cup of tea. I'll be back out shortly. Okay, so 3 coats of lacquer later, 1 thin coat thrown on as an adhesive base coat, and then 2 thick layers put on, and it's looking very shiny. Obviously a bit of polishing will help it, but you can see a bit of the orange peel hazing down across here, and it's a bit weird. I think the lacquer reacts to the sticker because there's bits of the sticker just stuck up through. Very weird, but overall, if it stays like that, I'll be bloody happy. That is gorgeous looking. Anyway, there you go, 3 coats of lacquer, 3 coats of petrol resistant lacquer, auto lec. No, it's not out here, it's down here. Auto Tech petrol resistant lacquer, tough durable finish. Very mixed reviews about that, but now I'm going to leave that at least a week before I do anything with it, and possibly at least 2 weeks before I put any petrol in it or any petrol near it, just to give it maximum drying time. They reckon it's petrol resistant after 48 hours, but I'm not going to chance that. This has been sat here in the heat and everything, which I've now turned off, and it's getting cold rather rapidly, but this has been sat here in the heat for, he says, 3 hours, just over 3 hours. So it's cured enough to carry it into indoors, and as I say, the curing process will go on indoors in a nice warm environment for at least another week, if not 2 weeks, whether I dependent on whether I actually put it back on the bike or not. But that sticker is weird. I think it's both sides as well. Yeah, it's both sides as well. There's just little bits of the sticker sticking through. A little bit of fluff in it, but overall happy with that. Now I've got to Google what I can do to that, whether it is just polishing it or whether it's needing sanding and polishing. I don't think I want to be sanding the lacquer, even if I leave it like that and it stays as a bit of a rough finish. Again, there's some areas that are like glass, beautiful, and then there's some rough bits down the side. So anyway, that's it for today. That's done, that's going indoors. Hopefully the rain isn't going to affect it as I carry it in, and then, as I say, at least a week to cure before I do anything else. So thanks for watching, comment below, and I'll see you again. Ta-ra. Oh, it's so beautiful.